Okay, so everyone, get ready for today's deep dive.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about something, you've probably heard about it, seen the headlines, but maybe not really, really paid attention.
Yeah.
Bird flu, right. It's one of those things you see and you think, oh, yeah, scary, but,
Right. It's out there.
Yeah, it's out there, yeah.
But
Today we're going to do a deep dive. We've got some research, actually, from the University of Glasgow. Really interesting stuff, and also a bunch of news articles, right? Kind of see what's going on out there in the world. And our big question today is this. Could the next pandemic, and I don't want to scare anybody, but could it be, kind of brewing under our noses, right?
Yeah.
And here's the kicker.
Yeah.
This is the part you might not know. Horses might be a bigger part of this than you think.
That's right. Yeah, when we were looking at this Glasgow research, which, by the way, is published in a journal called Emerging Infectious Diseases, if you want to go check it out.
Very catchy title.
Yeah, I know, right? Anyway, they found that horses in Mongolia of all places, had these antibodies to H5N1 bird flu. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
They weren't showing any symptoms. Now, that's...
Wait. Back up. Okay. For those of us, myself included, who not really fluent in science speak, right?
Right.
What does antibodies even mean? In plain English, what are we talking about?
Okay, yeah, no, that's a great question. So think of antibodies as your body's little tiny soldiers, right?
Okay.
Fighting off infections, like a little army. So if they find antibodies to H5N1, that means at some point, those horses, they got infected. They fought it off. But here's the key. They could still be carrying and spreading the virus, even though they feel totally fine.
Okay, so like Typhoid Mary.
Exactly.
But with hooves, right.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, that's a little creepy, but is it really that big of a deal? I mean, come on. Mongolia. Horses.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. Horses, they're not just in Mongolia, right? They're domesticated all over the world.
Oh, yeah?
And often living pretty close to humans. I mean, think about it. If you've ever gone horseback riding.
Sure.
Or if you live near a farm, or even just visit a petting zoo, occasionally, you could be exposed to one of these silent spreaders.
Okay, petting zoos, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not so cute now, right? So, okay, horses could be spreading this, but couldn't we just, test them? I mean, can't we find out?
Yeah, you'd think so, right? But it's not that simple. I mean, routinely testing horses for bird flu, it's not really done. Especially not, globally. And remember, they're not showing symptoms, so you wouldn't even think to test them.
Right, they just seem fine. Okay, so we've got these potential silent spreaders, but it's still just bird flu, right? I mean, how dangerous is it really for humans?
Yeah, so this is where things get even more concerning. I mean, you've heard about different flu strains, right? Like there's a human flu, there's a bird flu.
Yeah.
Well, horses, they can get their own kind of flu too. It's called equine flu, and it's caused by this virus called H3N8. Now, imagine a horse, just imagine, gets infected with both H3N8, it's horse flu, and H5N1, the bird flu.
Uh-oh. I feel like that's not good.
Yeah. So what can happen inside that horse is kind of wild. Those viruses can actually swap pieces of their genetic code, like their trading recipes,
Wow.
And that could create this totally new hybrid flu strain, potentially way more contagious or even deadlier than either of the original viruses.
So it's not just about horses spreading the existing bird flu. They could be like little factories for new, even scarier flu strains.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. I'm starting to see why people are worried about this.
Yeah, and let's not forget, this isn't just theoretical. I mean, bird flu, it's already jumping to mammals, and not just horses. I mean, the U.S. right now is dealing with a pretty serious outbreak.
Really?
Yeah, over 700 dairy herds, like cows, right?
700? That's a lot.
Across 15 states have been infected.
Wow. That's way more widespread than I thought.
Right, and almost 60 farm workers, people working with these cows, have caught it.
Oh, God.
Thankfully, so far, the symptoms have been pretty mild.
Okay.
But it just shows you how easily this virus can jump from birds to mammals. And mammals, that includes us.
Right. Exactly. Okay. So the virus is spreading. It's jumping to mammals. It has the potential to get even more dangerous. Are we just sitting here watching this happen?
Well, the U.S. is starting to take some action. They're introducing these new rules to test raw milk.
Okay.
Because that can actually contain the live virus.
Wow.
But some scientists are saying, it's not enough. It's too slow. They need to be more aggressive.
It's like, we learned nothing from COVID, right? Remember those early days when everyone's like, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
Oh, it gives me chills.
Well, there is one expert who is definitely not downplaying this. Have you heard of Dr. Tulio de Oliveira?
Yeah, vaguely.
He's the virologist who actually first identified the Omicron variant of COVID.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
So he knows a thing or two about this.
He does. He does.
And he has been very vocal about his concerns. He even used the word, and I'm not kidding, dread.
Dread.
Talking about how he feels watching the situation unfold in the U.S.
Dread. That's a strong word coming from a scientist. I mean, why is he so worried?
Well, he's really concerned about the way this virus is spreading, especially in these, densely packed factory farms.
Okay, yeah.
Which unfortunately are the perfect breeding ground for mutations, right?
Oh, I see that.
I mean, remember, the more a virus spreads, the more chances it has to mutate and potentially become more transmissible, more deadly.
Right. Okay, so we've got this ticking time bomb in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
What about other parts of the world? I mean, is there any good news, any optimism anywhere?
Well, things seem a little calmer in the UK, actually.
Okay.
The authorities there, they believe the risk to cattle and to the public is pretty low at the moment, but they're not taking any chances. They've already ordered 5 million doses of an H5 vaccine.
Wow.
Just in case it starts spreading among humans.
Okay. So, cautious optimism, but preparing for the worst.
Yeah.
That's probably a good idea.
Like so.
Okay. So what does all this mean for you listening right now? Here's the takeaway. Bird flu is spreading.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's jumping to mammals, and that includes humans. And it has the potential to become a serious, serious threat.
Yeah.
And here's the thing that, might surprise you. Horses could be a silent link in this whole chain of transmission, spreading the virus without even showing any signs that they're sick themselves.
Yeah. It really makes you think, doesn't it? We've all seen how quickly a new virus can change the world.
Yeah.
I mean, if H5N1 does start spreading among humans, are we really prepared for another pandemic? Have we actually learned anything from COVID-19?
Those are great questions, ones that we should all be thinking about. So, in the meantime, stay informed. Maybe think twice about that petting zoo trip. And until next time, stay curious.
Stay curious.